The studio lights of today with Jenna and friends burned bright, reflecting off the glossy floor like 1,000 tiny suns. The audience clapped rhythmically, their cheers filling the air as the theme music faded out. On screen, everything looked perfect. Warm smiles, cheerful energy, and the promise of a light-hearted morning show. Kelly Clarkson sat on the plush white couch, her posture relaxed, her trademark smile effortlessly charming. She waved at the audience, her eyes sparkling, but behind that smile was a tension no camera could fully capture. Jenna Bush Hager leaned slightly toward Kelly, laughing at a joke that had just landed well with the crowd. "So, Kelly," Jenna said warmly, "you've been everywhere lately, new music, new projects, and fans absolutely love this new chapter of yours." Kelly nodded, laughing softly. "Well, I try to keep busy. Keeps me sane," she replied, drawing laughter from the audience. But as the cameras rolled, Kelly's fingers tightened just slightly around her coffee mug. What the viewers at home didn't know was that minutes before going live, a quiet but intense conversation had taken place backstage. A producer had slipped Kelly a card, one that listed upcoming talking points. One topic in particular had caught her attention, a topic she had explicitly asked to avoid. A topic tied to her personal life. Back on set, Jenna glanced at the teleprompter, then back at Kelly. Her smile never faded, but her tone shifted almost imperceptibly. "You know," Jenna began carefully, "our audience feels like they really know you. They've watched you grow, struggle, and rise again. And sometimes, they wonder how you really handle the tough moments when the cameras are off." Kelly's smile froze for half a second. The audience leaned in without realizing it. Suspense often begins quietly. Kelly cleared her throat. "I think we all handled tough moments the same way," she said slowly. "We do our best, especially when we have kids watching us." Jenna nodded, but then, against instinct, against the unspoken rules of live television, she continued. "Speaking of tough moments," Jenna said, her voice still gentle, "there have been a lot of rumors lately. About pressure, about disagreements behind the scenes, even about whether you're being heard the way you deserve." The studio grew still. Kelly's eyes flicked just once toward the off-camera producer, the same producer who had promised her that certain subjects were off-limits. Kelly forced a small laugh. "Rumors are funny things," she replied. "They grow when people don't have all the facts." Jenna tilted her head, clearly sensing the shift. "But don't you think sometimes silence lets those rumors grow even more?" That was the moment. Kelly's jaw tightened. Her shoulders stiffened. The warmth drained from her expression, replaced by something sharper, something real. "I think," Kelly said firmly, "there's a line between curiosity and respect." A murmur rippled through the audience. Jenna blinked, caught off guard. "Of course," she said quickly. "I didn't mean to—" But Kelly raised a hand. "I was told this conversation wouldn't go here," Kelly continued, her voice calm but unmistakably tense. "And I've worked too hard to protect my peace to let it be crossed on live TV." The camera zoomed slightly closer, sensing drama the way sharks sense blood. The audience sat frozen. Jenna's smile faltered for the first time. "Kelly, I'm sorry if this feels uncomfortable." "Uncomfortable?" Kelly repeated softly. "No, this feels planned." Gasps echoed across the studio. Producers waved frantically behind the cameras, signaling Jenna to pivot to save the segment. But it was already too late. Kelly stood up. Her chair scraped loudly against the studio floor, a sound that sliced through the silence. "I'm done," Kelly said simply. "Not just with this conversation, with being cornered." And with that, she stepped away from the couch. The camera tried to follow her, then hesitated. The audience didn't clap. They didn't breathe. Kelly Clarkson walked off the set of Today with Jenna and friends, leaving behind stunned hosts, confused producers, and millions of viewers who knew they had just witnessed something far bigger than a simple TV moment. The storm had begun. The moment Kelly disappeared behind the backstage curtain, the controlled chaos erupted. Producers shouted over one another, headsets buzzing with panic. "Cut to commercial. Where is security?" "Who approved that question?" Kelly walked down the narrow hallway, her heels echoing sharply against the concrete floor. Her heart pounded, not with fear, but with a fury she had swallowed for far too long. A senior producer rushed after her. "Kelly, wait, please," he said breathlessly. This wasn't supposed to happen like this. She stopped suddenly, turning to face him. Like what? She asked. Like you promised me one thing and did another? He hesitated. Jenna didn't know how far the question would go. Kelly laughed bitterly. That's the problem. Everybody hides behind not knowing. Another producer joined them, clipboard clutched tightly. We can fix this, she said quickly. We'll release a statement. Say it was a misunderstanding. Kelly shook her head. No, she said. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was pressure. She leaned against the wall, finally allowing herself to exhale. For years, Kelly had been the nice one, the agreeable star, the one who smiled through discomfort, who sang through pain, who showed up even when she was breaking inside. But today, something had snapped. Back on set, Jenna sat frozen, hands folded in her lap as the red on-air light went dark. The audience whispered among themselves, some shocked, some sympathetic. Jenna removed her earpiece. Did we cross a line? She asked quietly. No one answered. In the control room, executives stared at the monitors, replaying the moment again and again. Social media alerts exploded across their screens. Kelly Clarkson storms off. Justice for Kelly. Live TV gone wrong? Kelly's phone buzzed endlessly in her purse. Messages from friends, from her team, from people who had seen the moment and understood exactly what it meant. Outside the building, paparazzi gathered like vultures. News vans pulled up. The story was already bigger than anyone could contain. In a quiet dressing room, Kelly sat alone. She looked at her reflection in the mirror. No stage lights, no filters, just her. Good for you, she whispered to herself. A knock sounded at the door. It was Jenna. She stepped inside cautiously, closing the door behind her. The tension between them was thick enough to cut. I owe you an apology, Jenna said softly. Kelly didn't respond immediately. I didn't mean to ambush you, Jenna continued. But there's pressure from above. They want raw moments, viral moments. Kelly finally met her gaze. At what cost? She asked. My boundaries? Jenna's eyes filled with regret. I should have stopped it. Yes, Kelly replied. You should have. Silence settled between them. I'm not angry at you as a person, Kelly said at last. I'm angry at a system that smiles while it pushes. Jenna nodded slowly. I understand. Kelly stood, grabbing her coat. This industry feeds on breaking people quietly, she said. Today it didn't get to do that to me. And with that, she walked past Jenna, leaving behind not just a show, but a message. By evening, the story had taken over the internet. Clips of Kelly standing up, her voice firm, her exit dramatic, looped endlessly across platforms. Commentators debated. Fans rallied. Critics questioned the show's ethics. But Kelly Clarkson stayed silent. She spent the night at home, curled up on the couch with her children asleep nearby. For the first time in a long while, the noise of the world felt distant. The next morning, she woke up to a decision. Not one crafted by publicists, not one softened by corporate language. Her truth. Kelly sat at her kitchen table, laptop open, sunlight spilling through the window. She typed slowly, deliberately. I believe in honesty. I also believe in boundaries. What happened yesterday wasn't about drama. It was about choosing self-respect over silence. Within minutes of posting, the response was overwhelming. Celebrities shared her words. Fans flooded the comments with support. Even people who didn't usually follow her felt something shift. Meanwhile, Today with Jenna and Friends released a carefully worded statement, citing creative miscommunication and deep respect for Kelly Clarkson. But the damage was done. Advertisers paused. Executives held emergency meetings. The industry, so used to controlling narratives, found itself reacting instead of leading. Jenna went on air later that week, her voice steady but sincere. I want to say this clearly, she told viewers. Kelly Clarkson deserved better, and we are taking responsibility. That admission sent shockwaves through daytime television. Kelly, meanwhile, returned to her own show days later, not with anger, but with quiet strength. She looked into the camera, smiling gently. Sometimes, she said, walking away is the bravest thing you can do. The audience rose to their feet. The storm that began with confrontation ended with clarity. Kelly Clarkson hadn't just walked off a show. She had walked toward herself. And in doing so, she reminded the world that even in an industry built on spectacle, authenticity still has the loudest voice.